Hi there, Dr. Gary. Dr. Gary on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. Today's topic is going to be, when involved in a dental sale, try to minimize the number of attorneys that are involved and or professionals. And we're going to get into this, what happened last Friday. This is an interesting story. Essentially, the buyer brought in a third party to assist with the lease negotiations, and he thought would help expedite, but it led to some problems of communication and putting the deal together. So let's talk about it. This is an important point. Anyway, as we mentioned, our name of our company is Healthcare Practice Sales LLC. We're nationwide dental practice sales. Our number is 201-663-0935. Our website is dentalpracticeguide.com. We work 363 days a year. We take off Christmas and Easter. We're here to serve you, whether it's buyer or a seller. The information you're about to hear is strictly for entertainment purposes. It's not for legal or business advice. So, we now have 8 employees and we're involved in 19 states. We just got back from Florida, in fact, and are about to now leave for Arizona. So we're excited to see what's going on in Arizona. Maricopa County is hot. A lot of people, a lot of activity. We have some practices for sale there presently. So we're going to go check it out. So let's get to the topic at hand. And that is, when selling a dental practice, the buyer should have one attorney or one attorney firm. Hopefully he's a dental attorney. Hopefully seller should have one attorney and or one attorney firm. Hopefully dental also. Now here's what happened last Friday, or like going on the last week and a half, 2 weeks. The buyer hires a lease negotiator. I don't know if he was an attorney or not, but to handle strictly the lease. And believe me, some of the lease negotiators are fantastic. They know so much about dental leases that I think they're a big aid. But that third party or lease negotiator or attorney who's handling the lease has to be in constant communication with the buyer's attorney and possibly the seller's attorney. Because what I try to do is generally you're going to find dental attorneys know each other. They've gotten through hurdles and problems in the past. They know how to handle it. Even though each problem could be different, they know how to handle it. So it always makes it easier. When you bring a third element in, a third professional, not that there's anything wrong with that, and some of those third element professionals could be extremely helpful, such as a lease negotiator with their extreme knowledge. But if that third party does not stay in communication with the attorneys, it's a problem. And this is the problem we have. The lease negotiator went in, and the landlord is kind of a touchy kind of guy. He wants to see you face to face, shake your hand, sit down with you. The lease negotiator, in this instance, strictly did everything by email. You got to get on the phone and talk to that landlord to say hello. Every deal is different. New York or some major cities have huge management organizations, and you're never even talking to the landlord. You're only communicating with the managing agent. But eventually the information is going to get back to the landlord. In this instance, the lease negotiator, attorney, or professional, however, failed to communicate on a one-to-one basis with the landlord. Strictly did everything on an email. And in this instance, the lease negotiator did not speak to the seller's attorney or the buyer's attorney. He should have reached out to put everybody on the same page, but he didn't. So once again, some of the lease negotiators are great. I have nothing against them whatsoever. Where possible, if you can keep the number of outside people to a minimum, it does help in certain circumstances. In this circumstance, it did help, and we feel it would help. You have one attorney, and then one attorney. That attorney may have a legal, real estate division that handles leases or whatever, and he'll work in conjunction with them. In this way, it's always one firm communicating and another firm communicating. Unless, once again, you get a great lease negotiator that can keep everybody on board constantly, communicates with all professionals constantly, then that could work out. But we're having a problem right now. The lease negotiator did not communicate with anybody else, did not communicate with any of the attorneys. The landlord got upset because he wasn't a touchy-feely type person. That's what the landlord was looking for. Once again, this is a huge building who did have a management agency handling the real estate, but the landlord does get involved. So we have a situation here that we're trying to unravel that unfortunately it wasn't working out with the third-party lease negotiation. It is going to revert back to the buyer's attorney, dental attorney, who I've known for he's been in business 25 years, and he knows very well the seller's dental attorney. So those two can communicate. Under this circumstance, the two attorneys are communicating great. They're communicating with the landlord, and they're keeping both apprised of each other of what's going on. So in this circumstance, it didn't work out with the third party. I've repeated multiple times, nothing wrong with the third party sometimes, but in this circumstance it didn't, and it's working out quite well now. This deal was beginning to get a little shaky because the buyer was getting discouraged because of the lack of participation, communication with the landlord. But it all turned out that one of the reasons was because the lease person wasn't communicating properly. Now, generally, the seller does not have to get involved in lease negotiations. However, there is an emotional level. If the landlord and the seller have known each other for a long time, paid the rent on time constantly, they've developed a little bit of a reputation, a little bit of rapport. And sometimes when a letter of intent has already been prepared, you'll seek the aid of the seller to come in and smooth things down. Because remember, the landlord knows nobody except the seller. Doesn't know the buyer, doesn't know the buyer's attorney, doesn't know the seller's attorney. Most landlords are concerned about one thing. They want their lease paid on time, and they don't want to hear any complaints from the tenant. That is the ideal tenant for the landlord. And they know the dental tenant's going to be around. A dental tenant will be around for a very long time. So, they appreciate that. But at the same time, you've got to be, you may, as a seller, have to participate now and then when asked. Other times, it's generally entirely up to the buyer's attorney to handle everything. So this is where we are with this. Now, we hope things are smoothed over with the landlord now. We have two attorneys or two firms, one for the buyer, one for the seller, involved in this, in putting this deal together, and we're excited about it. I think it's going to go well. We have a very compliant buyer, a compliant seller, really nice people to work with, and I think it's going to be, it should work out quite well. All right, now we are off to tomorrow. We are off to Arizona. We're excited. Maricopa County, as we mentioned, a lot of action going on out there. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what the action is. We're real motivated about this. It should be a great trip. Plus, it's getting a little chilly here on the East Coast. Fall is setting in and a little chill in the air. It's about 50-something now. And I'm excited to get to Arizona, Phoenix area, and should see I think we have 4 practices to go visit there. We always try to visit face-to-face all of our sellers. We always want to make that face-to-face contact. We integrate in with these deals. We monitor the deals carefully, every moving step. It's Sunday, we are still working, and we still have our same theme. We're having fun every time. But we get real involved with these deals. We're just not on the outside. If you need us, you can call us. We're available 24/7. Just call us even on Sundays. We are available to you to help you in any way we can. But we get involved in these deals. We're excited about the deals. In fact, every time I do a deal, it's like, especially for the buyer, I feel like I'm reliving my life because I had 3 practices, and it keeps the energy up. So it's very exciting. We are in this for the long haul. I am not retiring. I'm working on a few big things now. Let's see what happens. May have some surprises for you in the future. We're excited. All right now. And the guy's tailgating me in New Jersey, which is typical. You know, me first, get out of my way. Okay, maybe they'll be a little more gentle in Arizona. I don't know. All right, team, we'll see you. Have fun every day. And on the road with Dr. Gary, yeah.